here's why. I mean, my wife would still ask me for a glass of water, and I'd still have to get up and get it.
Well, now
So,
that's a valid point. I'll give you that. You're right. On Father's Day, if she asks you for a glass of water, you're still getting up and getting it for her, regardless of what day it is. You're entirely correct about that. I
yeah,
concur there. I concur.
yeah,
And my beautiful fiance has four fur babies. Well, five fur babies, four dogs and a cat. The cat could care less, but the dogs, they all went out and went shopping with me and got mom a card and everything. And they signed the card and then put P.S. If the other gift we bought you doesn't arrive in time, it's Dad's fault.
yeah.
And
Well,
by the way,
of course it
I
is.
I ordered the gift on the 27th of last month.
Ooh,
It
that's
said it would be here by Mother's Day. It's arriving on the 13th.
wow, wow. I don't know where you bought it from, but you need to check that.
A company out in California.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, manufacturers are on lockdown out in California too. It seems.
Well, as long as it wasn't a piece of plywood, you got a chance.
It was not a piece of plywood. Although, speaking of plywood, I saw a great meme this weekend that said, if you want to tell somebody how rich you are, take your 9mm bullets and shoot a bunch of holes in a piece of plywood.
Yeah.
And that's fact, by the way.
Yeah.
That's fact.
Yeah. And if you shot it with some 22 longs, then you would be a really, really rich man.
That's fact.
So,
So last
yeah,
night, I had the distinct
you did.
honor and privilege. I was humbled, and as always, and for me to be humble, let's be honest, that's saying something. But I was humbled and happy to be asked to be the MC of Symphony Under the Stars for the fourth year. You just forget how great the Symphony of Ocala is and
Sure.
how great Symphony Under the Stars is. There was about 4,000 people last night at the Ocala Golf
Yep.
Club. Nice music, fireworks, and everything. And FAFO does a great job. The Ocala Golf Club does a great job. And I was just humbled and very thankful that they chose me to be just a small part of that evening. And you can't go wrong with Symphony Under the Stars on Mother's Day.
No, it's one of those things, right? It's like it's right up there with the parade. You know what day it's going to be. You know where it is. The same with the firework kind of has moved around over the last years, but Symphony of the Stars is if you've never been, you need to go. It's
100%.
something you definitely need to experience. So
I am very happy though that for the fifth year it was held on the driving range because
yeah,
as a golfer, I understand the beauty of when they staged it on the fifth green, and
uh-huh,
you had the water and
sure,
the moon and
right,
I
right,
understand that aesthetically
right,
why people that aren't golfers would think that was a great setting.
yeah,
But it ruined my damn green for 2 months afterwards. So
yeah.
I'm glad they moved it.
I know they tried everything they could to protect that green from the chairs, the heels, and everything, and it
But
just
you
doesn't work.
can't. You can't really.
No, no. But I haven't seen it at the driving range. Last time I went, it was on the fifth green, the way it historically was. And,
Well,
um, how, where did they set the stage
well,
up then?
that's
At
the
the
thing.
top
They
of the
set the
hill?
stage up at the very top of the driving range, like
Yeah.
just behind the 11 tee box.
Oh,
Okay,
that
and
would be perfect.
and
Yeah.
then it's downhill. And I had somebody
Right.
yesterday go, I like this venue and all, but how many times have you been to a venue where the stage is at the top of the hill and all the crowd is at the bottom of the hill? Usually the stage is down below, and as the hill rises up, that way it's an amphitheater kind of thing, and people can see, and they just didn't understand why it was flip-flop for the Ocala, for Symphony Under Stars. And it's a real easy reason, folks, why they do it. The back of the tee box, the back of the driving range, which is the top of the driving range for this conversation, it gets in the shade first. If
Yeah,
you put the
absolutely.
symphony down at the bottom of the hill, the bottom of the hill stays in the sun until it sets. That's
Well, and
why
also
that's why they do it that
from a
way.
from just the sheer logistical standpoint, if you put the band all the way at the top, then everybody could fill up to that much easier, and you can come and go, and then you have the whole bottom all the way through around the 18th green and everything to fill in.
100%.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. You go all the way up to 10 feet.
And Maggie Weekly and her group of 25 board members that are volunteers, plus they had another 50 volunteers, plus Jason Linhart and his staff at Ocala Golf Club. I will tell you, impeccable planning. They pulled it off without a hitch. Or if there were hitches, nobody knew about them. And it's just one of those times where you go, you buy a ticket, you want to show up, you don't want to have any problems, and you want to enjoy a great night of 3 or 4 hours with your family. And that's exactly what happened last night.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always cool. So I've taken my boys there when they were little, and it's something you need to do. Yeah.
Galen, from Life South, joining us. Thanks to good folks at Palm Garden and Pin Flooring. Galen, we're going to get into some things that happened over the weekend in sports, but first we're going to pay some bills. We'll be right back after this short timeout. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
It's Monday. Not sure how you did it, but you actually survived an entire 2 days without hearing from Tom. Good job to you. And once again, good luck.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks with Tom Schmitz. Galen, on the phone with us from Life South. Galen, I don't know how to take what these things Dan makes. One, he tells everybody that as a fat guy, I can eat my weight in pickles twice.
Yes.
And then he says...
Well, no, you have.
I have, yeah, exactly. And then he comes with this one and says, you've survived 2 days without hearing from Tom. Good job and good luck. What the hell does that mean?
Well, I think it's appropriate.
Of course you would.
We're listening to, and I put myself in the same category. I tell people all the time, listen to me at your own risk,
Well, that is a very good point. I'll give you that. Hey, I had somebody ask me this weekend, when's Galen going to be back in studio? I said, I hope never. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. Then they asked me if you were going to do high school football again. I said, I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah, I plan to. I got to find another play-by-play guy because, John, the troll is only going to be able to come to the non-Bellevue home games or something.
Well, I know a pretty good
Bellevue High School.
I know a pretty good color guy, but not a play-by-play guy.
I'd love to have you. Well, I'll do play-by-play.
I know a good color guy. I know a good color guy.
I'd love to have him.
He did it for 5 years with Tom Jenks.
I'd love to have you.
Some guy named Tom Schmitz.
If you're in,
he's just around. You know what I mean?
If you want to do it, I'm all in, man.
I am. Look,
you know me.
Anytime I can get in this press box, complain about the officials, and tell you how bad Brady Ackerman is, I'm all for it.
Well, we're not doing Bellevue games. We're going to be doing Westport games, but you could still complain about
how bad Brady Ackerman is. Exactly. You know.
Now the schedule. I will tell you, the Westport schedule is going to be fun. You know, week 2 they've got Vanguard. They play Forest again this year, but they're traveling all over the state basically. They're playing some really.
Wait, is my travel covered?
You could ride in the car with me, and I'll buy you something at the stadium. Yeah.
As long as I get some boiled peanuts and a Gatorade at the stadium, I'm in good shape.
Done.
Good shape.
Done deal.
Hey, so we talked recently about you thought that it wasn't that bad of an idea, it wasn't that big of a deal, and I thought it was taking a spot from somebody that might have been able to deserve to be at the Olympic trials instead of NFL wide receiver DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf, I mean, he held his own. He didn't finish dead last. He finished 15th out of 18 runners. He ran a 10.37, and that's the first time he's run a 100-yard dash out of the blocks since a senior in high school. So I guess, I mean, if he finished 15th out of 18th, that means he was one of the top 15 people there. So he didn't take the last spot from somebody. So as much as it pains me to say this, I guess you were right, Galen.
Well, and here's the thing, because I did see that story, because somebody else said the same thing, and I'm not a big believer in that. So he was faster than 3 other dudes.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much you've been around track and field, but that is all technique and getting out of the blocks and the way you rise your body up. I've been. When I worked at TV20 briefly, I covered the track and field, and one of the things they would train, they would never run a full distance in a day.
No.
All they would do is train different segments, right? One of the things they would practice is getting out of the block where you don't lift your head too fast. So, and they would do that every single day. And so I'm sure DK didn't have that kind of training all through college, and he could probably shave 0.2 to maybe even 0.5 of a second off of his time with the right training.
Well, I texted a friend of mine who was in the Olympics as a sprinter. He ran at the University of Florida. We did comedy together. Hollywood and I did comedy together. And I texted him. He ran at the University of Florida. He was on the U.S. Olympic team, the relay team that won the gold medal. And so I texted him and went, 10.37, could that be a block issue? And he said exactly what you said. He said, a man who isn't used to training and isn't used to the blocks and everything, it can make between 0.2 and 0.4 of a difference. So that's the difference between running a 10.37 and a 9.97. A 9.97 gets him in the finals.
Absolutely. And so, again, I mean, and also his muscles are different, right? I mean, he'd probably have to lose 10 pounds, 12 pounds.
He is 6'4", 235.
Yeah, but his ideal sprinter is probably a little less than that.
Probably 220, 215.
Yeah, and where you carry that muscle is completely different. Your upper body isn't nearly as it's
no, your legs are bigger. You're more lean in your body, whole body.
And your core is shaped differently.
Now,
whereas you may want a little more mass in football. But again, I'm sorry if that kid that's world class speed. We can all agree with that. And the fact that he could just say, yeah, I'd like to give it a shot. That's just somebody who could. If you said, all right, we're going to play basketball tomorrow, he would beat you. He would beat. You know what I mean? He could probably be he could probably play in the NBA if he committed.
Okay.
Just some people just have that God-given talent.
Let me go on record. Let me go on record as saying, first off, 2 guys like you and I, who couldn't beat our way out of a wet paper bag with a rip down the center in a track and field competition, are sitting here discussing speed. And let me also say for the record, you said DK Metcalf would beat me in basketball. You would beat me in basketball, Galen. So that's not really that big of an accomplishment.
No, but again, in the the Olympics, I always wonder why we've like never won Olympic medals in certain sports, right? Like handball. You know, if somebody said, like, let's say Bill Gates' wife, because she seems to have a lot of money. If Bill Gates' wife said, "Look, I'm going to give you, $25 million to develop handball in the United States," I could win a gold medal in 4 years in handball. Right? I could. I would just go out and recruit the DK Metcalfs of the world and pay them.
Well,
say we're going to learn how to play handball.
That's the old adage that people say, with the talent pool in the United States, the fact that the United States does not do well in the World Cup, the world's largest sporting event,
Sure.
is amazing.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, it's not amazing to me. The talent pool at 12 or 13 decides soccer is no longer their focus. They start to play baseball, basketball, and football. And so you don't get the look. If LeBron James had wanted to play soccer, he'd have been really good at it. If Michael Jordan had wanted to play soccer, he'd have been really good at it. But they chose other sports. And that's like handball. The greatest athletes in this country aren't playing handball, pal. It's three people in their 50s and on top of the world.
Absolutely right. Well, and I've always said that if the Sports Illustrated swimsuit models all decided, you know what I need in my life is the best world handball player. That sounds really bad. In the world, right? That's who I want to marry. Maybe you'd have more handball players, but they all date baseball players. And by the way, hockey players' wives
stellar. Stellar.
If you rank them, it would probably be hockey.
Oh, they're first.
Baseball, golf, football, because the football career, you got a whole bunch of the big ugly linemen, and so they really dilute the talent pool. So,
but yeah, you're right. The strongest husband and wife teams and fiance girlfriend teams and boyfriends is hockey. Without a doubt. But you don't forget, Justin Verlander's got the best looking wife in the world. Tell me I'm wrong. Did we lose Galen? I think we may have lost Galen. He goes through that area on the way to Gainesville where he just disappears from us. So I don't know. He's here. He's not here. Galen, are you there? We've lost him. Well, we're talking, about hockey players and their wives. By the way, unequaled the talent. I think we lost Galen.
Did you hear me?
Oh, there you are, Galen.
All right. I came through. I made it through.
You made it through the vortex.
Yeah. That's right.
But
there's no doubt.
Kate Upton.
Just look at the sneaked photos that were on her phone. Woo!
Kate Upton.
For any of her Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues. Fantastic.
Well, hockey on the whole has the strongest relationship together with their wives and husbands. Kate Upton, Justin Verlander's at the top of the mountain. If you're putting a Mount Rushmore of athletes and their wives, Justin Verlander's there.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
Speaking of,
hey, I'm gonna put DJ up there from the.
Oh yeah, he's got Wayne Gretzky's daughter. You can't go wrong there either. And he's got a dad who told him, either cocaine or my daughter, you decide. But if it comes up again, I'm going to make the decision. And remember, I'm a hockey player.
Yeah, and, well, kind of. I mean, he just skated around and scored all the damn time. He had Marty McSorley.
He did have Marty McSorley. And he is the greatest hockey player ever. And when he threatens you, you either get in line or you break up with his daughter. And DJ didn't break up with his daughter. So, speaking of...
You could put Tom Brady's Giselle on the Mount Rushmore, and you'd be hard-pressed to find an argument for that one.
So now we got a golfer, football, and baseball.
Yeah.
And then and hockey, what's Carrie Underwood's husband? Isn't he a hockey player?
Yeah, he is.
There you go.
He is.
So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's again. Yeah, but hockey across the board, they're all 8s and 9s.
All
right?
of them.
In the NFL, you get some 6s and 7s. Baseball, they're all solid 7s.
And see,
or higher.
here's the question I don't understand. With that being said, two dopes like you and I got 10s. How'd that work out?
Hey-oh, that's right.
How'd that work out?
Man, I've been married almost 24 years in a week.
We have no athletic ability whatsoever past our, high school. Well, I played college, but still. We got no athletic ability really at our age now.
I played a year of college baseball. I mean,
you went and practiced and played catch, let's be honest.
I was on the all-Navy Asian Pacific softball team.
Well, somebody goes, how'd you do in college? I was the wedge buster, okay? I don't want to sugarcoat it.
That's right.
My job was to run down and just bust open a wedge, which now is illegal. So I wouldn't even be able to play college football now because the wedge is illegal.
There you go. Hey, I will say that singers and actors tend to do pretty well too. Their relationships just don't last very long.
Why are all these things predicated by money, I wonder?
I don't know. But then you look at like Bezos and Gates. Their wives stay with them forever.
Bill Gates' wife is done.
Wow. Well, did you see? I read the article, and apparently she found out that Gates was on Epstein's plane, and I guess that was a bridge.
That was the bridge too far there.
He had his mistress living in their house.
When you got that much money, you get away with it. When you got that much money, you get away with a lot of things.
No prenup.
Although somebody told me at Bill's age it may be Microsoft. It may be. You never know.
Hey-o.
You never know. Know. We're going to take a time out. We'll be right back with Galen Udall, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Today in Ag News from the Southeast Ag Now, the Biden-Harris administration outlined a vision for how the U.S. can work together to conserve and restore the lands, waters, and wildlife that support and sustain the nation. It's been titled America the Beautiful, and the report outlines a locally led and voluntary nationwide conservation goal to conserve 30% of U.S. lands and waters by 2030. Here's Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack.
Those making their living from the land, our farmers, ranchers, and foresters, are bearing the brunt of climate